would be a lot.
You're right, except for the fact that, like I said, with Latinos,
Test. 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 SubhanAllah. All right. What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Finally. 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 If you saw my last recorded video that I put out, I threatened that I was going to get the stream done yesterday, but of course, that couldn't happen. And it's a good thing that it didn't, because I only learned of the arrest of this Charleston white person today. So I wouldn't have had that information yesterday. So, or I didn't have it, I should say. So that's good. Now I have it, and I intend to make that part of this stream. Why I'm doing this is because I've known about this Charleston white person for some time, and I've been sort of marinating on him and watching. At first I felt like he was just like a gimmick, and nothing extraordinary, because I know brothers like him that look just like him, talk just like him, think just like him, have his same body language. He was nothing new to me. I know that dude already. I know him. I know him. So it was nothing new. And, uh, you know, I also drew a contrast between myself and him, or anyone like him, because I'm a truth teller. But I'm a truth teller. And not only am I a truth teller, but truth is a part of my being. It's part of my fiber. It's every breath I take. You understand? It is the most important thing to me. And as time marches on, it becomes even more uh, beyond important, to really cling to the truth and righteousness and what is right. But it was interesting. One of my earliest thoughts about him was that, well, he's a truth teller, but he is a pop-off, you know? He's a pop-off. There's no intellectual property going on there. He and I won't even necessarily call him a truth teller. I just say he speaks common sense, and there's a difference. Certainly a distinction to be made. But he is a pop off, and he's vile. He just says things. But somebody like that is no threat to this white devil. You see? A man like me sits down and tells the truth, and it's a problem. Because when I speak, there is an insinuation at the very least that this could move. This could move some people. Quick, shut that nigger down. Quick. In his case, he's just a nigger. Just a nigger. That's it. That's it. No threat, nothing going on. And in fact, one of the pieces I'm going to bring you as my evidence in this sitting speaks directly to that. So I've known about this guy for some time, and probably I've gotten a couple of laughs out of him, just because of the speaking pattern and some of the things that will pop out of him. But now it's dangerous. And that's why I sit as a warner. Because it has become dangerous for our people. And that is my greatest asset is us. And our well-being. And therefore my responsibility as I see it. When I see my people marching to the cliff to try to get to the cliff before them and warn them of the cliff. This is why the Jedi speaks. But my hair went up when I recently learned that this clown, this bastard, this cockeyed fool dared to try to put himself in the same oxygen as Dr. Umar Johnson. And then what I had been suspecting was now being realized. Because again, Dr. Johnson, when he speaks, he moves. People can be moved by him. They can be moved by him. Not this pop-off. But he's gotten loud enough and big enough. You can always tell by what's allowed. I also know that Roland Martin is also an agent being paid by the Democratic National Committee. I've been watching him for a long time, and I wanted to bring you that indictment and present my case. But I mentioned him in the lane with this clown, this cockeyed fool, because I've seen the things that he's gotten away with. And as someone who's been a content producer on here, since 2015 and had risen to 23,000 subscribers, nearly 5 million views on my channel, I'm very accustomed to what they allow and what they don't allow. And there's no consistency. It's just burnt ass, hurt ass, white devil ass people deciding that they've got a thorn in their ass and then they want to act on you, you know. So I've watched what he's gotten away with, from language to some cultural things, a few things, you know, and I'm saying a few, but it's been a succession of these few things and a continuous of these things. He's not somebody that I seek out, but he comes across my radar every once and again, like involuntarily, just like it's there. And I began to watch, as I do, as I've told you recently and made the case about some of these black YouTubers that you see now, that suddenly they have all these subscribers, suddenly, and all these views, suddenly. And to my moderators, don't let me get off of here today without bringing you a receipt of videos of mine that have been viral. Don't let me get out of this stream without that, or you'll all be fired. See, even just trying to remember that, I just lost my train of thought, but it's going to come back, inshallah. But I'm very acquainted with what they allow and what they don't allow. But there's these other YouTubers, these sort of conservative, fake-ass black people, which black people are conservative. We don't need no title. Everything don't just go with us. You understand? White people need all those labels because they're never anything they proclaim themselves to be. That's why they need a label. We just are. You know, when Obama was elected in 2008, they had a ballot, I guess it was here in California, for the gay ass people to get married or whatever. Some gay shit was on the ballot. And we voted for Obama and we didn't vote for that shit. And they were mad. Because we're what? Conservative. And shit don't go with black people. We have limits. They have always been and are the thing on the earth that takes everything too far and too extreme. No matter what it is. Name anything and they take it too damn far. You see? So the presence of these so-called conservative black people is a joke for me. You know? But they're being elevated. You see? Remember, my big channel was shut down just right as Trump was coming in. That whole movement was happening. Whiteness, you understand? Them feeling like they, you know, because they're the only people that are inferior on the earth because they choose to feel inferior. And then they go about all this energy of trying to prop themselves up to be great, and they're absolutely not. You see? So now we're in that same wave again. So now it's a new thing now. Let us elevate these fake black YouTubers, and what they all have in common is they all have a white attachment. They all have the little YouTube chair that, you know, that contours the back of the body, you know, like the headrest, and then it goes out like that. They all have that, usually a hat to the back. Dark skin. There's some light skinned ones out there. I don't want to say it's 50-50. It's more dark skin than light skins. And the light skins ain't really light skinned, just they not dark. But there's definitely a phenotype that I've noticed and have validated and proven for myself. And the topics that they cover, how they cover them, you know. And so I lay that just as evidentiary foundation to make my claim about this cockeyed fool, this Charleston white person, because he has been allowed to elevate I don't have any evidence to present to you that he has been elevated, but just the fact that he's not been stopped says to me he has been elevated, you know. I don't know if he has an actual channel. I haven't seen an actual thing. So I don't know, you know, if he has a channel and has this many followers or this many whatever. And I think he, just from his conversation, I gleaned that he's more of an Instagram person for some reason. Or a Facebook, like Facebook or Instagram, you know. But he's saturated our culture enough now that now a payment has been made to him. I proclaim to you. Remember, when the Jedi speaks, I speak very purposefully. Proclaim, not suggest, proclaim. And I know that because of a few reasons. One reason is how he suddenly changed from the bullshit that he was already doing to suddenly, when you start hearing black people talk, the moment they say, we're killing each other more than everybody else, that's a mark. That's a mark. Black people don't say that. We don't have no reason to say that. We have no reason to say that unless you've been influenced. And depending on what context in which you're saying it, and in this case, his context, this is definitely go and say this. Let this be your message, dumb bitch, you cockeyed Negro. You see? So there's that. That's always a red flag for me. He's pushing that and an overall negativity towards our people. I'm an intellectual, but I'm also someone who loves my people. It's the whole reason I'm sitting here right now. This is it. I don't have any social media except that you exist. That's it. Do you understand? So when I speak critically about our people, it's from a place of mirror. Let me hold up the burning mirror. Look at this bullshit. And I offer solution. I offer thorough critique. But I never stop criticizing the common enemy of our people, and that's this white devil. Do you understand? Anytime you have any African people only criticizing us and never talking about this white devil, that's the people you need to fucking run from. Run far and fast. Run. And by the way, these conservative black YouTubers, that's definitely one of their hightail marks. They don't have shit to say about white people at fucking all. At all. In fact, there's one guy, and I don't say he's in this class, but neutrality is a problem for me. You understand? I need you to pick a side, and if you don't, then you're a problem. That's it. But I don't know why he's anybody or why he's famous or why anybody would care, but I was disgusted because his video was that he needed to go to Dubai, and his whole thing was he had to spend $1 million or he was going to be mad that he hadn't spent the $1 million. And I just thought, you taking a black ass to fucking some country that's raping Africa for their riches and to spend $1 million, bitch, come to me. I'll show you how to spend that $1 million on our damn people. I was furious. Do you understand? But why I mention him is because at one point he was in Dubai and he was with some of the Muslim brothers. And after he had the experience in the mosque and felt that wave that you can only feel from Islam, then he came out talking about the unity that he saw from the Muslims in Dubai, the brotherhood that was there, etc., etc. And then he began to go in on us. And then he says, mostly out of ignorance, so I mean, I can't even say nothing about, and then they have to have some qualifier before they say white people. That's a problem. I'll punch you in your face. I'll punch you before you get the word out. Because that should come off. That should pop right the fuck out. And when it doesn't, that's a problem. That's a hesitate. That's a hesitation. So, I mean, I can't say about like white people and then they have to name something else. They can never just let that just hang out there. That's a bitch right there. When you have an enemy, you indict. That's it. And you dare. What? You understand? When you got to qualify and sketch over, you're not invested. You're not invested. And you're not serious. You see? But I noticed that he did that, and I think it was he's definitely ignorant. I think he's really a rapper or something. Like, but I don't know if he's a rapper or if he's just like some online something. I don't even know his name. I don't care. He was a young kid. Nobody cares. All right. But anyways, I don't hear this cockeyed fool criticizing white people, this Charleston white person. So what I want to do is I want to first bring you the piece that set this off, because I wasn't even aware that they were trying to get that there's been an instigation to try to get him and Dr. Umar Johnson to debate. For what? And that's the other thing I don't like. You know, anytime we have any greats of anything, or prominent or visible, debate, bitch? No. Build. Do you understand? We have no debate between Dr. King and Malcolm X. No debate. We don't have it. We don't have it. We don't have it. We don't have a debate between Harry Belafonte and, I don't know, Aretha Franklin or somebody. You know, any of these people that supported with wholeheartedly, we'll say Harry Belafonte and Muhammad Ali, two of my kings of all time, but it's always debate. But what made this sickening for me is because what I had suspected when I began to see his elevation was, why is he saturating the culture so much? And it's got to be more than just for Kiki, and for dumbed down value. But then I also see, I don't like when any of our people are going and sitting up and giving clicks and views to anybody that's not black. Our talent, whatever they are, whether they trifling, bullshit, or whatever they are, should be only on black channels. That means you must click on a black YouTube channel in order to see that person. Like this Zionist fuck who should be dragged down the fucking street by his fucking nose is that Vlad TV son of a bitch. And D.L. Hughley runs up there at least every week. I think that might be his boyfriend. I have some evidence that I can't get into. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. There's some things, but there's some things, and there's some things. But people just running up there and telling their life to this fucking white devil. For what? As if he cares. He's not even part of the culture. Like, he's not even an African. Why? What? For what? But I see, and I'm going to show you that, I see this cockeyed fool on white media, and then which there should be no question you should be asking them. And certainly there's nothing you should be asking him about a scholar like Dr. Umar Johnson. That's not a conversation. This is when you were little and you were outside playing with your little friends, if you was going to get a whooping, or if it was time to eat, or just time for you to come in. Once you came to the door, they let your little friends know, so-and-so got to come in the house now. That's it. That's it. It stops here. This is family time now. Take your little ass home. Take your pissy ass. That's it. This is it for today. And that's where we have to be. Exclusive amongst our own. That's it. We just share too much shit with the fucking public, man. And it's most of all white people. Stop sharing shit with their bitch ass. Stop it. Cause for what? For what? And we're the only ones that they really want to be invested in your shit. They don't poke into the Arabs. They don't poke. When I see the Arabs, they're on each other's channels. Or they're on something major that a coin is going to happen. Or it's some, something that's going to be big or something, where they're just a guest and that will be appropriate. But not just random, just going on fucking white people's channels and shit. No. I can't. So he is being elevated now because Dr. Johnson is such a danger. And shame on all of you. And any African people anywhere who have not supported Dr. Johnson. Because one of the things I'm going to let you hear this little cockeyed bitch say is because he kept going in and kept going in and kept going in. You see, one of the things that white people do is they support whatever is a great thing of their own. And then if somebody is, ripping them off or something later, then there's the lawsuits and the tearing them down and all the shit, like a Bernie Madoff or something, or some of these big Enron scandals or something. But what we do as a people is when the person just proclaims, this is what I want to do, you start just tearing the shit down. And you make me sicker than this cockeyed bitch that I'm bringing you today. You make me sicker than him. Damn. Because we can never even just get the ship out of the damn berth. Let's just get it out into the water, see if it floats. Or let's just see. You don't even want to pick up the first hammer to build the fucking ship. And then bitch that we don't have a ship. I'm over it. So let's bring in now this first piece that set it off for me. I just thought they're trying to now, he's trying to equate himself with Dr. Johnson. What? Sat your ass down. Like, I mean, I was having problems with the keyboard earlier, y'all. Now, I don't know. And maybe I should come see who's here first before we go into our first piece. All right, let me do that, and then we'll go into our first multimedia piece. I just was like, I can't even wear my glasses. I can't. But thankfully, Dr. Johnson, like any intellectual, you know when something is beneath you and you don't need to entertain that. I've told you this. If I've told you this once over the years, I've told you it a million times because I am an intellectual. And what I've said to you is, first of all, intellectuals never argue. We discuss. We discuss around what is known. We don't pull shit out of our ass just to win an argument or to win the day and shit. You acknowledge fact and reason. That's it. You see, if more of my people could do this, many of you would not be Christians. Do you understand? Or a lot of other things. You just submit to whatever is right. That's it. Not because something makes you feel a certain way or any of that. Just I'm doing this because it's the right thing and it's not even about me. It's just about what is right and that's it. You see. So Dr. Johnson is not going to be sitting any place debating anybody. Discussion is a different thing. You understand? That's how people argue because you usually have somebody who doesn't know a fucking thing or you have both people who don't know a damn thing. But if you have one person that knows something, the other person that doesn't know something, then they've got nothing to defend, they got nothing to pull out, and they're just pulling shit out of their ass, and now it's an argument. When intellectuals discuss, we discuss around what is known. That's it. Discuss that. What's reality? Not just pulling shit out. You understand? Nah. So he would never be seen in any place with this cockeyed bitch. I'm over it. And I always defend him. There's several over the years. And I'm sure there's pieces that I know there's pieces here on this channel. When something really gets my ire relating to Dr. Johnson, then I have to defend him out of righteousness. He doesn't know me. He don't owe me money. We don't have each other's phone number. I may never even meet him in this lifetime. But damn it, that's my brother. And from the time I've known him, knew who he was, I knew I need to support that dude. Until further notice. Do you understand? And he's the only one we have like him that's out there. We could get into Farrakhan and we could get into some things. All right. But they're two different people. All right. Melanin 100, a shout out to you. Willa, big shout out to you, Queen. So glad to see you. Sweet D, good to see you, Queen. A big shout out to you. Reese, it's so funny. I met a kid yesterday. He was walking up the street and his ass was out. And I pulled him over. to lecture him. And I said, "What's your name, young brother?" "Reese." I go, "Is that short for Maurice?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Okay, so that's not even special, you know." Anyways, Reese, big shout out to you. Simply Sandra, simply good afternoon or good evening to you. I'm so glad you're here. Cheryl Bryant, a big shout out to you, Queen. Jedi, where have you been? I miss you so much. I'm a busy man, Cheryl. I am. You have no idea. When I put out that recorded video the other day, I thought I would just die dead. At first, let me get through the shout outs and then I'll come back and read. Andrea Smith, a big shout out to you. And I also want to say to any of you who have tried to call me, because there's sometimes when people call me and either I'm praying and I don't get the call then, or I see the call, just however I end up missing the call. I didn't find out until a few days ago that since the last time I told you I had a debacle with my phone, I haven't had voicemail. My best friend was trying to call me from Florida. Either I saw the missed call or I saw it when it rang, but I couldn't get it then. Anyways, and then he texted saying, it's giving me a message that your voicemail is invalid or something. I'm like, what? So I checked it and it wouldn't even let me in. It's like, put in your number and that's invalid in the bullshit. So I haven't had voicemail. So there's that. So if you've ever tried to call me and couldn't leave a message, that's why. I only just got it taken care of today. And then when I called them, and I was on the phone for a big part of the morning, when I called trying to just get the voicemail part of it taken care of, we got disconnected and then I had no service for about 5 hours. No phone service at all. I had to go all the way to the damn store and go, I don't have service at all. I'm over it. It's going to be a murder. That's all I can tell you. The less you know, the better. So shout out to you, Andrea. El Sheba, good to see your name. It's been a minute, I feel like. Black Beauty, always. Big shout out to you. Richard Hart, big shout out to you. Robert Epps, good to see you, brother. Salam alaikum. Frankie Cardona, it's been a minute, my brother. Good to see you. Heavenly Fire, walaikum salam. Yeah, I'll read. Melon, you say blessings, King. Willa, hello, back at you. San, greetings. Reese, greetings. Cheryl, I've not been online, you know. Yes, thumbs up, everybody. Thank you, San, for that. And remember, moderators, don't let me forget before I get off this stream now. Let's see. San, finally is right, King. Seen it, your last video. I do not who this Charleston White is. Oh, well, you're going to find out then, San. You must be the one person that don't know who his little bitch ass is. And it's good that you don't know his ass, goddamn. You ain't missing nothing. Andrea, Mr. White is unapologetic. That's a good term for him, yes. And which can be a good thing, but you can't be reckless either. It's one thing to be unapologetic and standing on righteous conviction. You understand? And principle. It's something else to just be popping off and just because you don't give a fuck. That's not no reason for me to respect you at all. Black Beauty, you say hello, Jedi and the global family. Robert, no, brother Jedi, he has criticized white people. He went off on the Jewish community. I saw that, but that was a weed-filled rant because that's one of the other indictments that I'm going to be bringing in this. is and in my assassination of his character because of the weed smoking that's going on. You see, so this is not even a clear-minded person. Do you understand? We have to be very careful, everybody. You know, I'm all the years I've been on here, I told you I'm very careful with my audience. Period. Not just you here online, but anytime I'm anywhere talking to anybody. I don't just put shit out to sound amazing and shit. You know, if I don't know what I'm talking about, either I don't say that, or if I think I know something, I say, listen, I don't really know this, but here's what I think it is, but you should go and check it. But most of the time, if I'm opening my mouth to speak, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You understand? Because I'm a knowledge seeker and I'm somebody who's interested in knowing what I know. That's it. You know, I saw this kid. I almost clicked away from it because it came up as an ad. It really was an ad, but it was a podcast, I guess. But instead of it just being an advertisement, it was like the full interview. There's some actor kid. He's been acting since he was like 5 or 6 years old. He's 19 or 20 now. Like major actor. He's in some show that even I've heard the name of that's on Netflix. I don't have Netflix, but I've heard of the show. Like I live in America, so I've heard the show. I can't think of it. Anyways, he's Muslim now, and but his journey that he was talking about how he became Muslim was exactly what I'm just saying to you. Like he just was interested in what the truth is. That's it. Just that's it. What is it? And that's what I'll go to. Not what I want to do or what I feel better in and I look cuter over here or some nonsense. Just what's real. You know? But I appreciated that he knew what he knew. And you know, I always say a wise man knows what he doesn't know, you know. But I'm very careful with my audience, you know, and because I know how intellectually lazy most of America is, quite frankly, but certainly I know how intellectually lazy many of my people can be. And I understand my presence and my energy, and I know that people will take what I say as gospel and just go and repeat it, you know, because they trust me. Well, I need to earn that trust, you know, but you shouldn't just be going and reciting shit just because the Jedi said it, you know. Thankfully, I do my homework, but I always tell you, you should sweep behind me. Do you understand? Know it for yourself. Wait now, this is stuck. What is happening? Okay, there, I was at San. San, you say, I guess I will learn tonight. Yes, indeed you will. Oh, Robert. Yeah, I saw that. It was weed provoked. And it was a pop off. Again, he was just listen, I've always told you guys, I don't care if it's in person or if I'm reading comments. If a human being is proclaiming something and I'm exposed to it, I can tell you if that's their personal knowledge or they're reciting some shit they've heard. I always know when I'm standing in front of a reciter, a regurgitator, I call it. You know, either I'm reading, hearing, or seeing. What am I hearing? A regurgitator. I just have the ear. That's why I always tell you, listen down, listen down, listen down. I say that to you all the time. And listening is one of the keys to wisdom, everybody. Because when you're listening, you're silent. And what I always tell you, wisdom comes in silence. So this is one of the ways that you attain knowledge and wisdom is through listening. You got to be able to listen and to hear. You understand? And you got to turn off the voices in your head. Don't think, just listen. That's just listen. You understand? So I always know when I'm listening to somebody reciting some shit, and he does a lot of that. This isn't somebody who sits and does deep dive studies on a bunch of shit. No, he listens to whoever his source is. You know, maybe watches a few YouTube videos. Maybe he watches me secretly. I don't know. And then he goes and says the shit. Unless it's some ghetto shit, then that's just right out of him. You feel me? That's learned behavior though. You know, everything, how he does everything, like everything, you know? Ugh, I can't. And like I said, I wouldn't give a damn. But once you approach the throne, it's a problem. And he has approached Dr. Johnson now, and we can't allow this. Let me get to this now, but I'm trying to get through your comments. Quickly. Frankie, you say, how is... Oh, Walaikum Salam, Heavenly Fire. Frankie, you say, how is this Charles guy on so much? Exactly, you know? I mean, he's just... I saw him sitting up with Cam... Y'all know I'm not even a sports fan. And most of these fucking people, I don't know who they are. I only know Cam Newton because I know who he is now. Somehow. But there he was. And I thought... And I've run across, you know, in the feed or whatever... I think I don't know them all like that, but I think I've seen enough in passing that I kind of got a feel for the type of people that would even be eligible to sit with a Cam Newton. You know what I mean? And this dude is not on the list. Do you understand? Like, why are you sitting up there talking to fucking Cam Newton in a peach jumpsuit or something? I mean, it was just, we're going to see it. We're going to see it. Let me just, I can't. You go on, Frankie, to say Umar is just saying things already been said and heard. No, you haven't listened to Dr. Johnson. Either you've not listened to him or you've not honed the skill of listening, Frankie. You understand? I wouldn't defend Dr. Johnson if he was what you said what you're alluding that he is. It's not true at all.